following program may contain coarse language, suggestive dialogue, and discussion of violent imagery and sexual situations. It is intended for mature listeners who can tell the difference between facts and opinions.
Okaroon and Ira get some classical training on this episode of the Toonami Faithful Podcast. I am your host, Sketch, and with me I have...
editorial writer, Laser Kid.
And...
Hi, sorry about that. Stream is Steven, working on stream.
I'll edit it in post. And bring it up the rear.
You're a wonderful data monkey, Colt. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
It is us four today. And, sorry if I stumble over some things in the Rooster Fighter recap. I usually watch these episodes at least twice, and I was only able to watch it once. So,
Gasp.
we'll see how I do. How dare I be so unprepared?
It makes you feel better. I only watched it once too, and it was this morning.
So, we are talking about Rooster Fighter Blue Lock in 2 episodes of Dawn to Dawn. We're just going to get right into it. In Rooster Fighter episode 10, to back a bird into a corner. In our previous episode, our chickens / roosters have been fighting demons at the base of these devils, and Elizabeth has convinced Keiji and Keisuke to not kill the demons and is using her special gun to kind of paralyze them so that they can be properly treated to remove the parasites. Well, I guess Yuji, one of these devils, decides that he doesn't want them to do that, and he just kills all of the demons that she has incapacitated, which is rather upsetting to Elizabeth. This guy, Yuji, is now shown his true form, or at least his first of his true forms, his green form, and he's got this big old cannon that can rapid fire powerful shots, missiles, what have you. And he's pretty good at evading attacks from the roosters. Even though clearly Keisuke, having way more training, has the better advantage when fighting this guy. Keiji still certainly tries to get his shots in. And there's even a moment where Keiji fires off one of his big blasts, and Yuji's like, "Oh no, just kidding."
That was pretty great.
I mean, you even see his flesh like
bubble up, yeah, a little
bubble
bit.
up. You're like, "Oh, is this gonna do something?" No, apparently not. And then he armors up. It becomes even more troublesome.
He rickrolled us.
Yeah. Meanwhile, as you may recall in the previous episode, Pyoko got stabbed through the heart, and we see her kind of in a state of blackness, wondering if she'd ever gonna see Keiji again. And then she hears a voice, and she's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "Oh, you don't remember. No matter, I'll be taking your body now." And at least according to the captions, this voice is called Duty. Okay. So now
Very interesting.
That just makes it even better.
Yeah. Having taken over Pyoko's little body, it proceeds to attack the parasite inside of Morio, using just that one nail very effectively, hurting it a whole lot. And it's got some crazy eyes. It's got some
Got some
Sharingan
Naruto
eyes.
eyes going on there.
Yeah, got some Naruto eyes. But they're blue instead of red or purple. Crazy Naruto eyes. And it seems to have managed to kill the parasite, but then we don't really see what happens next involving that, at least not yet. Back at the other fight, Keisuke and Keiji are trying their darndest to do any kind of damage to Yuji, but it's proving very, very difficult. And also proving very, very difficult is Keiji, who's being very stubborn and doesn't want to work with his half brother. So they're at odds and
So he's
not
being an
really
asshole.
cooperating, which is
Same
making
shit,
things
different day.
all the more difficult. But despite that, eventually, after Yuji runs out of ammo and needs to refill, and Keisuke kind of pieces it together, and maybe Keiji does too. Keiji fires his big beam at right at the gun, and Yuji's like, that didn't do anything. But what he didn't realize is that Keiji is now inside of his gun, and he's got a little something to throw into his gun to cause it to explode from the inside.
That was just that's one of those beautiful bastards I read your book moments.
Yeah,
Surprise grenade.
pretty much. And that gives Keisuke an opening to fully unleash an attack on Yuji, which, despite what Keiji said about not wanting to work together, he created the opportunity to do so. It even calls out, like, come on, do it. Get him. All right. Getting somewhere. There's also a flashback in this episode where Keisuke kind of unlocks his power, his inside the gizzard of certain chickens in their bloodline is a special egg, and when it hatches, it unleashes their incredible power. It's pretty much Super Saiyan. Right? It's pretty much Super Saiyan.
Insert arbitrary power up here.
Yeah.
Though the way his father uses it, I was like, what is this Nen shit? This is seriously Nen powers. So they do manage to thwart Yuji. Unfortunately, there's still Hikari, and Hikari created Yuji, apparently, which does not bode well for everyone here. But they give it a shot. They try. They try and they try and try. Finally, Keisuke, thinking about his what his father told him about his limitations.
Got some real Kaioken shit here.
Yes!
We're not ripping off Dragon Ball. We're totally not ripping off Dragon Ball. Why would you assume we're ripping off Dragon Ball?
I have
Because Rooster Fighter rips off everything and is completely not even hiding it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's glorious.
So Keisuke decides to put his body on the line. I hope my body can take it. And his previous limit was, what was it? 3? Something like
I believe it was
3?
4 or something like that.
No,
was 3
no,
or
3 was the limit.
3 was the limit. And then he's like, 4, 5, 6 or 7, 8, 9, Kaioken times 10! And unleashes a mighty attack on Hikari. But in that moment, my mind went, nah, it's not over yet. And no, it is not. Because Hikari's still standing.
I love in the middle of all of this, and then this is just something that Keisuke does, but my old man brain keeps hearing Keisuke say Miss Elizabeth over and over, and I'm just like, where's Macho Man at? He's talking about Elizabeth, dumb old wrestling head here.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say, took me a minute to remember that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
And at the point that Keisuke was unleashing his Kaioken times 10, Keiji was already down for the count, having finished off Yuji. But after Keisuke's 2 weekends to keep fighting and Elizabeth is in the crosshairs, suddenly, Keiji back on his feet. Definitely worse for wear, but ready to go for another round. Nice save there, Keiji. Nice save.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. That about sums it up, I think. I don't think I forgot any particularly important details. Oh, right. The devil's plan is to create more devils. Yeah. So what they do is they use these parasites to infect demons, and only certain demons are capable of becoming devils. So the ones that are become devils, and the others just become slaves.
Evil plans.
Evil plans be evil.
We need to make more devils, but what will you do then? Make more devils, and then
We'll flesh it out in season 2.
I don't know. On that topic, I kind of missed when this show was Monster of the Week.
I kind of missed that too.
I'm not against it not being Monster of the Week. It's more, how deep down the rabbit hole are they going to go?
Oh, Keiji's gonna unlock some kind of special something. I'm not entirely sure if he has achieved his egg yet. I think that's what happened when he nearly died when his sister was taken.
I think that was him awakening the egg effect. He just has no control over it. He just shoots. I figure my hope is Pyoko comes up and just beats the crap out of the devil. I want an Akuma
That's
moment.
actually kind of what I'm expecting, to be honest.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But I don't think it's going to be Pyoko. I think it's going to be whatever Duty is. And then I think we're going to have to deal with that.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Duty comes out and it's just like a full-blown Akuma moment. So just give me a Street Fighter joke with this and I'll be a happy person because you are setting it up so great right now.
Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. He's going to just go out there raging demon then bison.
And they're just going to end with him barely surviving and running away. And the other three are going to be like, the fuck just happened, Pyoko? Where am I?
Oh. Okay, yeah, you could go that route. I get the feeling we're going to have to deal with this thing, but that could also happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more, I'd be surprised if they managed to kill both.
Yeah, I don't think Hikari's going to die this season. Frankly, I'm not convinced Yuji is completely down for the count. But
it depends. Are we going by like cell rules where they have a core, or are we talking other forms of regeneration based on other anime properties?
Yeah, he did splatter pretty good. So maybe not. Steven, what'd you think of this episode of Rooster Fighter?
I say it's a pretty standard episode of Rooster Fighter. It's not really gaining headway that much in story, but I mean in action and everything else. It's fun like every other anime out there. I do like the demon demon designs. The devil, not the demons. Oh, I mean the demon ones too. The demons are wide variety from like all kinds of different like genres out there. There were like mecha ones. If you watch the episode before, there's like they show a lineup when they're surrounded by it, and then in this one too. So they do have a wide variety. I think it was like a Gion from like Gundam in there, and I'm like, oh wow, they're reaching some points in there. The devils seem pretty plain, but I guess that's how you know they're going to be dangerous because they look normal. And I guess that's
Mhm.
kind of like that kind of like that old trope of like I have so much power, I can look normal, or I have so much power, I don't even need to move, right?
Slayer's logic.
Um,
If the demon is more powerful, it looks human.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but otherwise, yeah, the demons they look the devils look interesting. I really wanted that guy who they faced with the machine gun around longer because I thought his design was really cool. But I mean, hey, taking him out and it doing an interesting way of just taking his arm out. That's a way of doing it, right? Because that's the only part of his body that they had to get rid of. Him eating the C4 to create the plastic, to create the bullets, which were like homing missiles as well because they had eyes on it, which was kind of
Yeah,
cool.
you did have homing missiles eventually.
Let's see what else. Yeah, them the one. What was the guy in the hoodie? What was his name?
Hikari.
Hikari. So Hikari said he didn't really want to tell him they're playing, but he goes, "You're not going to live as long, so I'm just going to tell you it anyway." That's some story plot stuff right there. But
Arrogance.
yeah, yeah, I'll just tell you it anyway. I don't really care. You're going to die anyway. So there is still something strange between that family like of chickens, I guess, or that I guess family of chickens. I don't know. And the devils and demons and all of that stuff. So there is something unexplained there that we didn't get all the way through because what's the whole thing?
Something
Because
tells me
go ahead.
we're probably gonna get that after we get past the devil fight. Because
Two,
they're gonna rescue Kisuke's father, and I think we're gonna get a big lore dump.
probably that makes sense. Like just creating more devils. That's a thing. I'm like, I guess, but it's like at that point, just create more demons to create more devils, or figure out how to unlock them. Because it does seem random at this time that just certain people can become it. Why can't
hmm
everyone become it? If you want
And
everyone to
it
become that,
seems to be because the devils are being created by those parasite things, which means the devil is the parasite just taking over that whole body.
yeah.
That's my read on that. So certain demon bodies are more amenable to that than others. It's just a compatibility issue.
That makes sense. And then a little Pyoko
It's a
just
G
having,
virus.
yeah,
It is a
it
G
is. It
virus.
totally is, Colt. Um, and then
So
little
we got
Pyoko,
Street Fighter
yeah.
and Resident Evil. Capcom needs to make a Street Fighter game stat.
You know that's already going to be made, right? That's a fighting game right there.
I'd love that.
But little Pyoko, that's kind of like seeing her like die and then come back. She goes, "Oh, I'm dead. I won't see Mister anymore." Like that's her. That's the thing. She wants to see Mister. She wants to see KG the whole time. I mean, that is cute and everything, but then it's like those eyes of like she's got like the Sharingan or something coming out of her, and then when then her body like gets possessed by this like other demon that's in her or whatever it is, and the voice comes out. He's like, "Okay, time for you to pay." I'm like, "Whoa!" That the gloves are coming off right there. I wonder if that's like a Two-Face situation where she can activate it or like not maybe Two-Face, but like she can activate it at will at a certain point, or is it like she just have to like go to sleep and that's now her like voice in the back of her head that she's talking to the whole time?
Yeah. I guess we'll see. other Dragon Ball similar things when Yuji had his arm blown off. I almost wondered if he was going to just immediately grow it back.
Yeah. I actually wondered that too.
I mean, he is green.
He is green, yes.
At least he was at that point. Yeah. So this is definitely an action-heavy episode. I bet Paul liked it a lot. Who knows when we'll get him back on the podcast? Not with the current work schedules. Nope. Is this the first episode where we saw Keisuke's eyes?
I think so.
Might be, yeah.
'Cause I don't think I really noticed them before. They're always covered up or
His eyes are always
slightly
like covered
closed.
up by the crown, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. That was Rooster Fighter. I'm guessing this probably the end of this fight's probably going to take us to the end of the season, and then we'll get a little cool down. But yeah, as much as I like some lore, it's starting to drag a bit for me. It's not slow per se, but compared to previous episodes, which were, one and done usually, kind of missed that. But I suppose to tell grander stories, you need more episodes.
Or at least enough of a reason to give the characters the want to continue fighting, which the Devils
Mhm.
provide.
True. The devils in their great plan of creating more demons to create more devils. What a plan. I do wonder if, because humans are typically the ones that become demons, though not always. There was that lizard that, or newt, that turned into a demon, at least. So, do the human forms of Hikari and Yuji look like they did as humans? I wonder about that.
I'm going to assume that is yes, but we would
Probably
need
pretty,
lore to confirm that.
probably pretty similar. Frankly, I wonder what they looked like as demons before they became devils. Was their prior evolutions? All right. Well, Blue Lock. We are once again back to the match between Naruhaya and King Baro and Isagi and Nagi. And episode 15, Devour. In the previous episode, Naruhaya had gotten the ball and shot, but it hit the post. And now we see Baro has taken possession and manages to score. But in the next round, Isagi passes to Nagi and he rushes the net and he scores. And then Baro shoots from the kickoff again, but Nagi blocks it. And Isagi takes position, but Naruhaya steals it, passing to Baro to score. So we're all tied up. 1 point left. And Isagi realizes that Naruhaya is always positioning himself in his blind spot. Wow, it really took him this long to figure this out?
Apparently.
Yeah, you have a blind spot. You can't see everything, Mr. I see everything. Yeah. Oh, right. And then Nagi scores again, and that's what ties the game. And then we get Naruhaya's backstory. And you know what that means? He's
Mhm.
probably not moving on.
First of the tragic backstory strikes again.
Yes. He had
So Agamiga kill rules.
kind of a big family. his parents had already passed away, and he's trying to support his siblings. So he does have a noble goal. He's not acting very nobly lately, though. Surely that won't bite him in the butt.
No, why would it do that?
Also, why are you keeping your Lucky Charm in your pocket while you're on the field? So then again, I guess in Blue Lock, like, how else do you keep your stuff with you? They kind of don't have stuff. It's like they get amenities everywhere they go, so they don't really take anything with them. Just the clothes on their backs, which get replaced. I don't know. I'm thinking way too much about that. But both Naruhaya and Isagi are trying to figure out how to take what they're bad at and become better at it so that they can become better rounded players, and and in efforts of doing that, Naruhaya tries to copy Isagi's direct shot, but he misses. And you can see that Baro is just fuming. But unfortunately, Naruhaya learns the hard way that he's not good at emulating, whereas Isagi, that's kind of his whole thing. Like, that's the final piece of his arsenal, I guess. Because he manages to emulate Naruhaya's footwork pretty well and passes the ball to Nagi, and then Nagi passes the ball to Isagi and scores, winning the match. So now we have the awkward moments where you kind of wish they wouldn't take Baro, but you know they're going to take Baro.
I mean, of course they're going to. But
That
at the same
dynamic is
time,
just gonna be
he's kind of a loose
great.
cannon.
Yeah, he's trouble. He's definitely trouble. Definitely trouble. But Naruhaya's like, nah, come on. Don't have pity on me. I know how this goes.
It's a
Sorry,
vassal.
fam. Sorry, fam. I
It's a
can't
group
go
of vassals
on.
picking another asshole.
And
Yeah.
Isagi's all like, I'll keep playing for your sake, man.
That's a little bit of growth for Isagi. He earned my ire when he's like, crushing them makes me feel good. I'm like, you're a jerk. At least here he's like, yeah, it sucks, man. Okay, that's a more legitimate response.
Yeah,
He's growing as a person, sort of.
sort of. But isn't that counterintuitive to Blue Lock?
Yes, it is.
Yes. And even if I don't watch it, it's basically, hey, who's the biggest? Like who wants to be the biggest asshole?
You are the weakest Eskel. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. So they take Baro. Hooray. Then we see on the previous day, angered that Bashira and Isagi had left them, Kunigami and Shiguri are like, all right, who's going to be our third player? And then they see Rio fuming in the corner, and they're like, you want some payback? So they agree. And in the extra time,
we finally get some answers about those beds.
Yes, they have 3 beds now. Were there 2 extra times on this one? Because
There kind of were. Well, one of them was technically a post-credit, but not extra time, and then there was the actual extra time. And the bed
Yeah.
was technically not labeled as extra time, but it basically was extra time.
Mm-hmm. So Kunigami and Chigiri are like wondering where Rio is, and they find him in the bathroom, and he's playing She Loves Me Not with a toothbrush.
God. Get some help.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Nagi. I hate Nagi. Nagi's the best. Nagi's the worst.
Okay, Smeagol.
And in the actual extra time, and I don't know if it was just slightly different this time, but for some reason it made me think of a Pop Team Epic segment, because you know how those always start with them just saying Pop Team Epic and then there's a logo.
Yep.
That is it emulating that? I think it might be,
It does kind of feel like it, yeah.
especially in this episode for some reason. So yeah, they're fighting over who gets to be in the bunk beds and who gets the separate bed in the 3-person situation. And the separate bed is larger, so borrow reasons that he's too big for the other bed. Also, the bunk beds, they, if somebody stirs on the top bunk, it rattles. And Isuki's kind of trying to keep the peace while Nagi and Baro are going at it, and then Nagi's all like, yeah, whatever, king.
Well, eventually Nagi's like, yeah, I want it too.
Yep. Flip for it. It's the only reasonable thing to do.
It is.
Though I suppose actually it would make the most sense to let Baro have it, because the other two don't really need it for space reasons. You want Baro even more ticked off? He's already so much of a loose cannon. This is going to be interesting. Are they going to keep Baro until the end and he'll be part of the 5-man squad? Or are they going to lose him and then get back to having only 2 players and get somebody else? Like, what is that? Would be the way to drag it out, for them to lose Baro in the next one. Though I can't imagine anybody would pick Baro over Nagi. Unless it was Rayo out of spite. Rayo might not pick Nagi out of spite. Depends on what moment in his I love him, I hate him he's feeling at that particular time. Well, moving on to the next round, I guess. Laser, any additional thoughts?
Not particularly. It's Blue Lock. It was fine. I did like the whole, I'm gonna steal your technique. Well, I'm gonna steal you stealing your technique. Haha, and I did it better. That was kind of cute. But otherwise, I don't have anything super additional to say. It's Blue Lock.
Yep.
It's
Steven,
not bad.
Any thoughts?
No, that's about it. I mean, I think the extra times are the best part of the actual show. There are some
I
times where,
completely agree with that.
Often they are.
yeah. Can we have like a whole show just dedicated to that? 'Cause
Okay,
that
I
would
would
be fun.
actually look forward to that if that was a show.
I mean,
I mean-
I probably would actually watch it at that point. I am annoyed that I missed this one, because it's like, yeah, I generally at least catch the extras. It's just like, yeah, I waited a bit too long.
Yeah, I mean, it's soccer. It's something that I'm not into. There are some times where it's like, okay, they're figuring stuff out, and Isagi's trying to figure out his own way of thinking and all that stuff. But me is if I'm trying to post something, live tweet and everything, it's like, oh, look at this guy. He's gonna bust into a dance move, because I mean, it looks like he's gonna do that, or we lost our puzzle piece or something like that. What else am I going to say with it? But yeah, the extra times are the fun thing. So if we can compile that up and squash that all together in a couple episodes, that would be great. Yeah.
I feel like if they had done more with like outside the consistent soccering and you actually got a chance to see who their actual lives like the extra time does, I think it might have been more of an enjoyable show.
I agree. All right. I had one additional thought. Naruhaya was telling Isaki what makes him different is that he's willing to tear himself down and change and build himself back up. I'm like, what do you mean? You're not willing to do that?
Pretty clear he did.
Maybe you're not so great at it yet, but practice. Like, I guess that's kind of Isaki's deal. He's willing to change. It's kind of actually, yeah, that's kind of been his whole goal since the beginning. I want to change. That is Isaki's goal.
Isagi's weapon is that he changes.
He's a transformer.
Oh my god.
That Isagi,
Transformer
he's
into
more than
assholes.
meets the eye.
Oh my god.
A puzzling individual. That
Matrix of assholes. I will obtain it.
right? Yeah.
And you start having Dare playing in the background while he's just, beating the shit out of
That I
someone.
believe we can survive.
I can totally see
You
Dare
were the
being-
only soccer player there. Yeah.
feel like you just ruined your last joke.
Oh no, I had something else in mind.
I see. Well, I
gonna
do
go-
think
I was
Go
going to go
ahead,
with the
Steve.
touch.
well, I mean, they're always talking about touch. Oh, you got to get the right touch on the ball. Yeah, I could I could totally see either of those songs paired to Blue Lock Clips, honestly. And it would make them way better than they currently are.
Yeah.
Just the right emotion from the music. Speaking of music, oh boy, what is with Don to Don this season and music?
The anime, this is the best use of public domain classical I've ever seen.
True.
Yes.
True. At least one of the best. But not even close to the weirdest visuals I've seen Beethoven's Ninth Symphony put to in anime.
Oh my gosh, hell yes.
Anime likes to use that song a lot. Including really, really weird anime, like Camphor in their OVA. If you know, you know. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Because we're talking about episode 19, Feeling Kinda Gloomy, and episode 20, You Can Do It, Okarun. And in our first episode, we get to see more of Momo learning how to do her new part-time job at the maid cafe. And Miko and Muko are totally milking it for all it's worth. And Okarun is just constantly flustered and not sure what to do with himself. But Momo continues to work and makes it to the end of her shift. Previously, when she saw her friends off, Okarun's like, well, I'll wait for you. She's like, no. It's freaking cold out here. You should go home. So she doesn't really expect to see him, or does she? But it's Okarun. Come on. When she steps out of the cafe and is like, oh, I guess he's not here. He comes running up. Because he's that guy. He is that guy. Props to you, Okarun. Props to you. Meanwhile, Gigi is gradually being able to control the evil eye, which is to everyone's relief. But when Momo and Okarun return home, Ira accidentally bumps into Gigi and she spills her boba. And I swear, as soon as I saw her sipping on that boba, I'm like, oh, we all know where this is going. And everybody is fairly prepared for this, so they got their hot water thermoses. They're ready to go. So they try to splash Evil Eye immediately, but he quickly puts up his barrier, his like evil house around himself and Momo, and yikes. He's got her pinned down. Things are looking real scary. Okarun is pounding on the barrier. It's super intense. But thankfully, right before the barrier went around her, Momo had actually taken a drink from her thermos, and she had some hot water in her mouth, which she was able to spit right into Evil Eye's face and turn it back into Gigi. But yikes.
Which then just creates the question of what does hot mean in this case? Like, what is the temperature threshold that is deemed to be hot for him to transform? Because you'd think
I
that
mean,
the
she
hot
drank
water would
hot
have cooled off
water.
and right, but again, like, are we like what is the temperature threshold? We need experimentation here.
Well, they did experiment, and he wasn't able to handle lukewarm temperature before, much less cold. But now he's able to hold it back if it's not particularly cold water or cold liquid. I guess the boba was cold enough. I mean, who wants warm boba?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have experimented to an extent, but yeah, we don't really know the threshold.
It's hot water. What defines hot? Yeah, whatever the author wants to make it as. Okie dokie.
Hot enough to be used as tea, I'm guessing. Well, no, I don't think it has to be boiling. Though that's how you make sure. You got fruit flies in your sink, you pour boiling water down that. You make sure. You make sure. But yeah, the aftermath of this is really intense. Gigi is horrified that he was about to hurt Momo, even though he really had no control over it. And Okarun slaps his hand aside and is like, "Are you okay, Momo?" And I've seen the meme. I've seen the meme. I don't think I can say it.
Probably not.
But I've seen it. But yeah. Seiko does try to reassure Gigi that it wasn't his fault, and he could see that Seiko's hands are pretty badly damaged from trying to deal with that situation too. Well, she towels him up and tries to calm him down. But after that experience, Okarun is even more convinced that he has to do something to get stronger. So he tries to learn some moves by reading manga, as you do.
Relatable.
Because the Mantis guy's not teaching him anything, so he's got to try and learn somehow.
Gotta
But
get his trick in somehow.
Turbo Granny sees him and is all like, "What are you doing?" It's like, well, "I'm trying to learn how to throw a punch." It's like, "Do you want to learn how to throw a punch, or do you want to get strong? Those aren't the same thing, kid." True. Different strokes for different folks, different skills for different powers. And Turbo Granny's all about speed. So she says, I'll go help you get strong. And they head off somewhere to do that. And Ira sees them and decides to follow them. And they go to the school where Turbo Granny takes them up to the music room so that they can improve their fight rhythm and timing. And then she starts playing on the piano. And then you hear the piano play again, and she goes, that wasn't me. And suddenly,
That first time I heard her say that, and that first time I watched this episode, it's just like, oh no, Turbo Granny, what did you do?
you've summoned the piano from Mario 64.
Oh no!
No, it's much worse.
Would have been a funny moment if they'd have done that, though.
Yeah, it's much, much.
You can't tell me
worse.
this. What actually happens is also not hilarious, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's the spirits of the ancient musicians come to life.
Yes,
Sort of.
led by Ludwig van Beethoven. They're all kind of doppelganger creations that were born from the fear of failing music class.
Which is brilliant. It's just a brilliant moment of like, wow, this is good writing.
I love Don Don so much.
So that kind of transports them into one of those spaces that we have in Don to Don where anything that happens in it doesn't affect the real world. And this time we got this film noir thing going on where it's mostly black and white, but there's a little bit of color here and there. Like all of the composers have a little bit of color to help you differentiate them, though they're all fairly unique designs. And of course, Momo's got sort of orange highlights and Ira's got some pink highlights. So they're running around trying to dodge all these notes that are being thrown at them by the power of music. This is a great moment where one of the notes hits Okaroon and it changes the voice pitch. She's like, "What? Why's my voice so high?" And then it gets hit by a rest. And Turbo Granny's like, "I told you not to get hit by a rest," and then she gets hit by a rest. Fun.
Such a unique way of making music into a combat form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Okaroon notices that Ira's managing to fight these guys pretty well. She's having some trouble, but she's doing much better than he is. And he's getting super frustrated that he doesn't think he can do anything. And Turbo Granny tells him, you got to move to your own rhythm. Don't think of the music they're playing. Think of some other music. And he's like, I don't listen to music. Hey, wait a minute. I just heard some music. And I liked it. I was getting into the groove. That's not what he said. But like he was headbanging to it. It's like, all right. I'm going to move to the rhythm of that drum. And he does. And that unlocks some serious power. Now, I don't really understand how this works. But it's cool.
It is cool.
It's basically just BPM movement. That's all it is.
Turbo Granny did explain before the difference of BPM between himself, Ira, and the Evil Eye. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just Okaroon is too slow. His BPM is like a 60 to an 80 when everyone else is at least a 160.
What I'm hearing is that you're too slow.
Yes, exactly.
He needs to channel Sonic the Hedgehog better.
You gotta go fast.
Yep. So, thinking of the Hayashi's music, he's able to move really well, really fast, and blast through all the notes and take out one of the musicians. And now Beethoven's gonna get serious and starts the Ninth Symphony Quarrel version. Anybody else get Big O vibes from these guys?
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, these towering figures that are singing, and also when they open their mouths, a whole bunch of horde kind of flies out of them
Yeah.
and filling up the area. And they're now in like a big opera house with a big stage where all the musicians have gathered, and things are just crazy going here, there, and everywhere. Ira's managing to wrap her hair around some of these big figures, and Okaroon's zipping here, there, and everywhere. And at one point, two of the big figures smack one between them because of, it's Looney Tunes. Even though it's like slow moving. Kind of silly. So Ira says she'll take care of the big ones, and Okaru should go after the musicians. And Turbo Granny's like, "All right, you gotta hit all of them." And he's like, "I can't do that. I've only got two. I can only go out all out 2 times." She's like, "Well, then just hit them all in one hit." Oh, of course. That does make sense. And he manages to pull it off. And I love, after he has smacked all 5 of the guys on stage, he finishes with a bow. And they turn back into paper.
God, the style on this show.
So good. So
The
good.
sequence as a whole is also just absolutely a feast for the eyes.
It really is. I mean, I cannot do it justice with words. It is.
No.
We all know
This
where
is
the
the
budget
second
went.
time I've talked about it, and I still can't.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal sequence.
It got my podcast co-host to give Don to Don its flowers, and he doesn't even like Don to Don very much. But even he was like, "Oh my god!"
It's hard not to be at least a little bit impressed by all that.
Indeed.
It's certainly a lot of spectacle. But it's also, I don't know, like some of the most creative training I think I've seen in an anime.
I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where Granny's coming from in that regard, because it's like, when you're thinking about speed, your music is a very good analog.
Yeah.
Especially considering when you're getting to that level of hypersonicness, it's like you do kind of have to put a mental metronome on it in order to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. The episode's not quite over. I forgot to mention in the previous episode. Shoot, what's Seiko's pupil's name? Escaping me.
Wasn't it Manjaro?
Manjaro, yeah.
Because
Manjaro.
I only remember because I made the stupid joke about Demon
That's right,
Slayer.
Manjaro.
Yes, that's the only reason I remember his name.
Bryce Pappenbrook voiced one of these musicians.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Pretty great. Yeah, Manjaro in the previous episode, after the last outburst of the evil eye, was like, "Look, we got to do the exorcism. We'll call the Hayashi back. I can do the prayer myself. I can take care of it. Don't." But Seiko didn't want to do that still. She wants to believe in Gigi and everyone else. And once again, after these guys get back from their training, he's suggesting that they should do that, and Momo is very against it. Oh, I am getting ahead of myself here. But right as they finish the finish off the the musicians. I will get back to what I was at, but I don't want to say this out of order. So after they fought the musicians, uh Ira is once again super smitten at Okaroon, and there's this moment where she normally would say something really flirtatious or cute, and she just can't bring herself to do it. Growth.
Good for
Definitely
her.
growth. And Turbo Granny explains, yeah, if we press the key again, then we can get it all over. And like, no, let's not do that. And then, accidentally press the key.
The moment she starts climbing down from the piano, I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to hit the keys, you old lady.
You old lady. I guess we can presume that they, in fact, had to go through that ordeal again.
Assume they did. But this time, probably faster because he knows what he's doing this time.
Yeah, probably.
Not instantaneous, but faster.
Yeah. Probably. Oh boy. Yeah. So now they're back at the house, and Manjiro's saying, we really should call the Hayashi back. I'll take care of it. And Momo's like, no, we're not going to do that. And then Okaroom comes home and he's like, Gigi, get out of here. I'm going to fight the evil eye. And everybody's like, whoa. You sure you want to do that? It's like, yes. We're going to fight. So everybody gets prepared. They splash some hot water on him. And they erupt into battle. And we cut there. Pretty intense.
Pretty intense.
I do think, and granted, I have I have the hindsight here, but I do think Okaroon is making the right call here, because you can't deal with the evil eye by just suppressing it.
Yeah.
I think it's the right choice. I also have the same hindsight you do, but even before I was, past this point, the thought in my mind was very much, you don't want to traumatize Gigi, and he wants to try to make friends with this guy, and if they manage to make that work somehow, that's an ally they can count on later.
True. That's a very powerful ally, potentially.
It's sort of like getting Barrow on your team. It's loose cannon, but again, if you can work through it.
I would definitely rather have the evil eye than Barrow.
I'm gonna totally agree with you on that one. At least the evil eye is just straightforward. Yeah, I'm gonna kill you. Okay.
Yeah. On the other hand, the evil eye could definitely kill me, and I'm not too worried about Barrow doing that.
That's true.
But in the case where they're not able to kill me and I just have to deal with their stupid outbursts, I'd rather deal with the evil eye.
Absolutely. Just keep a nice hot thermos with you at all times. Splash them.
Right.
It's like having as someone who's been dog sitting, it's like having a misbehaving dog. You just splash it with water. It takes care of it, right?
Yeah. Bad boy. Get the spray bottle. It's not enough. You got to spray him more. Evil Eye's like.
Yeah. I think Evil Eye would be more of a cat than a dog, but it's still really funny.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then it's just to be a cat. I don't think Evil Eye is really cat Like,
I'm just in terms of how he'd react to getting sprayed.
yeah. Oh no, a dog wouldn't hiss.
No, but I think Evil Eye would.
Yeah,
But
that's
assuming
true.
Evil Eye
Yeah,
would just be a bore and immediately attack you, regardless of the situation and where you were at.
probably that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think a little. If it's not enough to change it back, I don't think a little squirt's gonna stop the evil eye from
No.
whatever he's doing.
The first time it will confuse him.
We're like, what?
I mean,
What is this?
it would be funny just to see Ogurun, e.g., all three of them just having spray bottle thermoses. Why do you have that for? Reasons.
no, no reason.
Grab me some of those spritz. GG. And then rumors start around the school as to what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, just wait till next week. Just wait till next. Cole, any thoughts on this episode?
I mean, it's just good. I honestly loved the animation when Okarun goes all out at the last second, and you see like that hyper demonized mode we haven't seen since like season 1.
Yeah.
Because it's like him actually tapping into like the larger power potential of Turbo Granny. So it's like, oh, cool. So we're actually gonna get like an actual like decent fight now. It's gonna be like an actual like balanced fight rather than it being either like a funny practical fight or a one-sided fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's not all I got though. The series has been amazing.
And it has.
And thank God the home video releases are by G Kids and not Crunchyroll because they're actually affordable.
Yeah, I saw their well, the limited edition can be a little
Limited
pricey.
editions are pricey, but that's a limited edition with a whole bunch of special stuff. That's a little pricier. And if you want, but I like that that's an option. But if you just want the show, which is $25 for season 1, $45 for season 2, that's incredibly reasonable.
Witch Watch is pretty well priced as well.
That's coming out in July, yeah, also around $45, and I'm very excited to purchase Witch Watch.
Yeah. Not to say Crunchyroll always gets it wrong. Surprisingly, their Dragon Ball Daima set is very reasonably priced.
Indeed.
And contains all 20 episodes. I really thought they'd split it in 2.
I thought they would as well.
Yeah, nice that they didn't.
I sense Toei's involvement there.
Yeah, well, Toei's...
Then again, Toei's not exactly known for reasonable prices either.
I mean, the One Piece sets are some of Crunchyroll's most affordable sets.
True.
I have to
They're
figure
like
Toei's
$30,
the reason for
$35.
that.
You're probably right. I've been paying those as they come out, and you're not wrong.
Yeah. Before we get too sidetracked talking about home video releases, I didn't even know Don to Don Season 2 was listed yet.
Oh, yes. It absolutely is.
Nice. Let's look at that. I missed my chance to get a really good deal on the limited edition Season 1. I'm bummed about that.
I got a pretty good deal on the non-special edition. I got like $20 for it.
Yeah, it's a fine deal. Steven, what are your thoughts on these episodes of Dawn to Dawn?
I like how so at the end of that the first recap that you were talking about, I like how it almost felt like someone was writing a JoJo ending, right? Like how Momo had the water in her mouth and she knew to spit that out because no one else had the water around them. And it felt really cool. There was great writing that they said that. That she had the water that cooled him down not cooled him down, it's hot water, and so it heated him up.
Heated him up.
Yeah, something. Anyway, it was really cool writing that all of them couldn't splash of water on him, but she had the water in her mouth, so that was really cool. The fight with the the orchestra, that was amazing. Just to watch that, I mean, to listen to it for the cacophony of sounds and everything on there, but then going on that and just watching them fight that was amazing. They had to spend a lot of money on that because even though that music was not right, it was not copyrighted or anything, they had to get an orchestra in there to do that, I would imagine. Unless they took it right off of YouTube, which I mean they could have, but it had to have been the same one that did the William Howell overture. But still, that was phenomenal with the stops, and then she's telling him, "Don't get hit by the notes." He goes, "I got hit by it," and then she gets hit by it, which is funny. But then seeing them how they fought differently, but had to find their rhythm and groove to fight in a different way. And to show how someone trains for battle, because while it's not how do you show that in an anime or in a manga? How do you show that and how to see them training? Because he's just going to go from a manga like every other person around the world just watching something on YouTube, right? But then having this power to do that and her power to unleash these demons, these ghosts that were in the music room of failed students, which is this how do you fail a music class? Which is it's funny in itself, but I guess for someone who doesn't listen to music, maybe, who knows? I don't know. Anyway, it is still funny, but still cool how they made that and represented that into a musical style and genre and still made it entertaining, right? It was still fun to see and to have all those puns in there about orchestra and music and symphonies and all that. That was fun.
It sure was. Now, there is some disagreement on who some of these musicians are, but I think this is pretty accurate, at least for most of them. So, the guy with glasses is supposed to be Franz Schubert. We got Johann Sebastian Bach. We got Anton Dvorak. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Obviously, Ludwig van Beethoven, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and Leonard Bernstein. Gosh, anytime I hear Leonard Bernstein, I think of the REM. It's the end of the world as we know it. Leonard Bernstein. So there's some disagreement that those are all accurate, but sound right to me.
They were bobbleheads. We don't need to worry about accuracy.
Yeah, pretty much. They all have their own names, and some of them are close to their representation, but others are just I don't know. Maybe there's some musical references in those names too. Very clever. Very clever. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Laser?
It's awesome, dawned on craziness in all the right ways.
That it is. That it is. All right. You can email us at podcast@toonamifaithful.com. You can follow us on facebook.com/toonamifaithfulpodcast and on Twitter @toonamipodcast. You can listen to the podcast on just about everything, including Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Podbay, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Radio.com, Spotify, and the TuneIn app. You can find every episode of the podcast to stream online at the same place they found the encrypted clinical trials on Lazarus. SoundCloud.com/Toonami Faithful Podcast. Get the latest news by following @ToonamiFaithful.com on Blue Sky and @Toonami News on Twitter. and read the news, views, and reviews on ToonamiFaithful.com. Colt, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky at Ambient Virus, twitch.tv/LiveVirus, going into everything is crab and or mutagenics at this point. That's pretty much it. Also watching Akanebashi, which is free on YouTube, and it's amazing because I've been reading the manga and it's good.
Yeah, the dub of that came out.
Yep, Netflix Ep1 and Ep2 are released.
Nice.
Be curious to see how they're gonna do the Raguko in some of the later episodes, because episode 7 has a insane speed run of a tongue twister, and I'm gonna love to see the VA pull that one off.
Mm. Abby Trout's playing Akane. From what I heard, it's a Bang Zoom dub.
Yeah, they dropped a couple of the VAs on the Twitter. I think they dropped Akane and a bunch of the other members of the Arakawa stable, and then Isha's VA.
Mm. Steven, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me all over the internet, because that's what I do sometimes. I'm all over the internet. I'm under Ghost. If you want to find me, you can follow me in there. Sometimes I stream, sometimes I don't, and most of the times I don't. But I'm on there talking about Kamen Rider, talking about YouTube. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about something. You want to follow me? You go ahead. You can live your life and don't worry about me.
Laser, tell the folks where they can find you. Other than
Well, you
dog
can
sitting.
And besides dog sitting in my folks' place, yes. Well, you can find me on Twitter at LaserKidPrime. You can find me on Blue Sky at LaserKid. And you can find me on my podcast, the Simuldub Saints. We talk about simuldubbed anime. It is on a long break while I have been dog sitting because while I can record, there's no way I can edit anything on the computers down here. But it will be returning soon.
You have certain shows lined up for when you do return?
Well, there are 2 recorded episodes that need to get finished editing. One of them is Hell Mode, and then the other is just kind of everything that we're watching and what we think of it in brief. But there are several big shows we're definitely going to talk about. I can tell you right now, there's no way we're not going to do an episode on Witch Hat, and there's also no way we're not doing an episode on Kill Blue because Archangel's over the moon for that one.
Witch Hat has been really good.
Which has been incredible.
Jesus, I have not seen an anime that's been that amazing since Frieren, which isn't that long, but still.
I would agree
Same
with
director.
you. It's up there. Yep. The other big hit this season for me has been Demons of the Shadow Realm, which Full Metal Alchemist blood going
I
into
need
that.
to catch up on that.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm quite enjoying Marriage Toxin.
Marriage Toxin is also... Marriage Toxin has the best intro of the season. Fight me.
I'm not going to fight you. Yeah. All right. You can find me on Twitter at Sketch1984 and on Blue Sky. Look me up, Sketch1984. And though I probably will not be heard on the corresponding podcast episodes related to this, I did take part in Geekcast Radio Network's Top 100 Animated Series list. I submitted my list of 100 series that pulled from their nominees list. And so far, it's been interesting listening to the first 2 batches. They're up to number 50 now. Though by the time this podcast comes out, they might be up to the next part. But yeah, that was an experience. And I'm apparently in good company because they got like Jerry Beck contributing to this, the animation historian Jerry Beck. And even some people that worked in animation, like Tom Ruger, creator of Animaniacs.
Damn.
Yeah, they know people, apparently. And I feel so honored to be among the people they know. Yeah, good stuff. I certainly would like to come on and talk about some of my picks, but I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity. Unless they do something like a post list show where people come on and talk about their stuff. Though I can send in a voice message. They have a thing on the website where you can send in a voice message to talk about stuff. I didn't put anything uniquely me as the number one show, which maybe I should have done to help it in the rankings, but I tried to be reasonable with my choices. And because of that, the highest I put One Piece was 5.
I can understand that.
I'm sorry. It's not beating Looney Tunes.
No,
not.
I don't think you could. It borrows heavily therefrom. So yes, I agree with you.
So Looney Tunes is my number one. Shock. Surprise.
That's actually
Not
a really
really.
good choice.
All right. Oh yeah, it's been fun. They didn't give me a lot of time to like come up with my submission. I was like, I'm already kind of busy this week. Oh. It's maybe not the perfect list, but I can tell you what I put at number 69, Megas XLR.
Nice.
Maybe I should have ranked it higher so it would actually make the list. I don't think it's the list, which pains me, but I know in my heart it's not really one of the best 100 animated shows ever. Maybe
Something like
the
that. There's
90s.
objectivity and subjectivity involved. It's a hard list to make something like that.
Also, you have to figure out 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever my podcast does the best of the year awards, me and Ark always pull our hair out. There's so many shows.
I'm not above leaving some shows off out of spite.
No, I'm not above that either.
Takes me a
'Cause I
while
don't
just to
think
remember
they're
what the
that
hell
good.
I've seen.
I have already hard dropped a show this season, so yeah.
Yeah. Give that a listen. Those guys are fun. They have good banter. I find it's really fun because they're having more fun when they're recording it because sometimes the guy talking about the show like gives hints of what the show is going to be. But if you're listening in podcast form, you gotta like mute it for about 5 to 10 seconds after the number plays. Otherwise, they'll spoil it with an audio clip. So I'm like, no, I don't want to listen. I want to see if I can figure it out. The ones that I was able to do that on, I was pretty good at figuring them out. Though, not all of them. And one of them, he even said, you guys are probably gonna get the wrong show here based on the description. And boy, I sure did. I sure did. I thought he was talking about Ren and Stimpy. He was talking about Beavis and Butthead. Came out the same year, I guess. Didn't know that. Yeah, that's a podcast. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoy listening, whether you tuned in live as we were recording it or you are listening to the podcast after the fact. We always appreciate listenership. Be sure to share the podcast with your friends if you think they would be interested. And until next time, keep moving to your own rhythm.
The Blue Lockers, more than meets the eye. Isagi wages his battle to overcome the weaknesses of his past self. The Blue Lockers, midfielders in disguise. The Blue Lockers, more than meets the eye. The Blue Lockers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I told you I had something.
And so you did.
That was a good something.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.